Howdy, folks. Good evening to you on this lovely Friday evening in Georgia and in Florida here. I hope your state where you live is as beautiful it is right now in mine and in Georgia. Blue skies, partly cloudy, with, let's see here, 88 degrees with low 78-degree humidity here in Florida. But basically, tonight we're going to be discussing reloading. It's going to be a reloading chat. And we're going to be first kicking it off. We're going to be covering dies. Oh, Jesus. I'm getting like text messages now.
Good timing.
You text somebody 4 or 5 hours ago, and now they want to, when you're live. Let me turn this damn phone off.
Here in Georgia, we're fine. Good weather, sunny, no clouds. Matter of fact, I just got back from the thrift store a little while ago, roaming around trying to spend money. So, hope you all having a good day. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here.
Yeah. I want to welcome everyone as well.
Get notifications from you. I'm gonna have to cut them things off.
I know that's what we're gonna do from now on. I'm just turning mine to what is it? I think it's off, and then you go one up to vibrate.
I had none coming on my PC before. All of a sudden today it started. Apparently
Yeah,
somebody.
that's the update you got. I got an update from Windows 2, and YouTube has been updating in the background.
Yeah,
Hold
I'll
on
go.
here.
Let me go in the browser and I'm gonna stop this crap. Sorry, folks. Hang on a second. If not, we'll be killed tonight. Let me see if we can stop this. Probably advanced. Let's see. Manage. Sync. Bad time to do this. I hate safety check, run security. Hang on, folks. Sorry for the wait.
No worries.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what we're going to be talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is I know we kind of just dumpster fired this live stream when we started it, but the bottom line is we want to start talking about dies. A lot of people make dies. There's the big five. There's Redding, Lee, Lyman. There's Hornady, and let's see, who do I leave out?
Forrester.
Forrester, and I guess there's Mighty Armory as well.
Yeah.
But the big ones are, I would have to say, are going to have to be Lee, Redding, Hornady, and Lyman. Usually, it's probably 7 out of 10 reloaders choose. Oh, I'm sorry, I left out RCBS. Probably 7 out of 10 reloaders use one of those type of dies. And then when you start talking specialty dies, opens up a whole new gambit of dies. You're talking Wayne over at Mighty Armory builds custom dies. There are there's a load of dies. Once you start talking precision rifle, you start talking die companies that actually will make you dies that reamed your barrel. They use the same reamer to ream your chamber as they do to ream the die. And I've talked to a couple of custom rifle builders in the past, and say I want to build myself a 308 Winchester custom rifle with custom action, custom barrel, chassis, the whole 9 yards. Well, I can have that gunsmith, if he's going to be turning the barrel and chambering the barrel, I can have him go ahead and manufacture and make me a set of dies. He can make them out of blanks that you can get from certain companies. Will sell you blanks, and other machinists and gunsmith will actually do it out of barrel stock. So out of the very chambering of a barrel, they're cutting their dies to resize the brass. And what they'll do is, since they know the specific size of the chamber, they'll just make the die 2/1000ths of an inch smaller all the way around. So that way they're bumping the shoulder 2/1000ths, they're bumping the body, squeezing it back 2/1000ths, and the neck. They'll set the neck for a certain diameter for certain brass being used, so that they'll get a certain percentage. If they want 1/1000ths of neck tension, or if they want 1/1500ths of neck tension, or 2/1000ths of neck tension, they can specify that from the gunsmith. And he can do all that in building that up. But for most people, if they want to reload 308 Winchester or 30-06, they'll just go and they'll look to see it from Brownells, Midway, Amazon, one of those companies, and they'll look for that size die. And then usually most people will pick a brand and kind of stick with it. I've noticed, like, I started with Lee, but I have gone through a few other presses and still have them. And I keep coming back to Lee. I just recently got a Mech Marksman that I'm very happy with. It's a very solid press, but I keep coming back to my little turret press for anything 223 Remington or smaller. Like, you could do 30-30 Winchester, stuff like that. But I mean, I've done 458 SOCOM on my Lee turret press, but it's really maxing it out, the linkage and stuff. When you start talking 30-06 cartridges and stuff like that, it's better to get a true single stage press and do that if that's what you're trying to do. But if you're talking handgun cartridges and up to, say, I would say at very max 308 Winchester, from 380 auto or 25 ACP all the way to 308 Winchester. As long as you're not cranking out millions of rounds, like if you're like a volume shooter, you might be interested more into purchasing a progressive press that's going to be able to turn out more ammunition with less effort, and also it's going to last longer because basically it's designed to turn out high volumes of ammo. Now, I've had my little press 5 years now, and I use it all the time, and I've done thousands of rounds of 223 in it, and I've done hundreds of rounds of 300 Blackout, and it just turns out really good ammunition for that. And so, and it's an inexpensive press, but the reason why I started out with Lee was because of the price. It was the cheapest way for me to get into reloading without breaking the bank. And that's what I like about their dies. Their dies, just because they're a little cheaper than the other ones, don't hold that against them, because I have run $120 dies, take the expander assembly out of the center of the die and run a one piece of Lapua brass 308 up into a Mighty Armory die and pull it back out, and then run a piece of Lapua, different piece of Lapua brass up into a Lee die and run it out, and basically check it on a alignment gauge that's going to measure your run out on your cartridge neck for concentricity. And basically, I'm not seeing much difference. I mean, yeah, does the Mighty Armory die hold better run out? Yeah, of course it does. It's a 1/1000th.
What dies you have in Mighty Armory? What kind of
I've got the 223 Remington, and I've also got the 308 Winchester full length sizing dies. That's the only two dies I have from Wayne, and they're expensive, and it's a quality product. When you get that die in your hand, you could tell that quality steel was used, It was, the highest quality machining. And when you look at it, there's not a machine mark on it. The insides of the dies are beautifully polished. They're a work of art in themselves.
I want to try them.
Yeah, but the bottom line is most guys getting started, they got to buy a press. They got to buy all the goodies to go along with, prepping the brass, cleaning brass. Everything costs money, and basically, sometimes it's hard in the beginning to swallow one single die costing over $100. When you can buy an entire set of Redding dies for about $100, the basic ones, or you can buy a set of Lee dies back in the day for around $35. Now that 35 is 45. So because of inflation. Now, so what you're looking at is if you're going to get into reloading and you want to purchase a set of dies, you want to purchase something that's quality made, that isn't going to give you problems with your accuracy and ammunition. And basically, Lee gives you quality ammunition. Is it the best on the market? No, it's not. But will it get it done? And will it get it done the cheapest out of everybody? Yeah, it does.
Have you seen the Whedon dies? Is it Whedon or Whidden?
I think it's Whidden. The custom ones where you can order them where they can adjust. You can adjust the. Click, it's got like little adjustment clicks on the lock ring where you can. Yeah, that's one of those specialty dies. Basically, what you can do is they've got it on the Whidden die set or die. It's a full length sizing die, and it's got an adjustment ring, a lock ring that's got it's got indicators on the side of the threads that you can turn it and it'll make like a click. And basically each click is either a half a thousandths or a thousandths more shoulder bump on the die. So you could totally just dial them in by clicking the lock ring as you advance the die down into the against the shell plate or the shell holder. Yeah, I've seen those.
I like to have them.
Yeah, I really don't see a need in it. I understand people wanting something a little different, but it won't do anything that a regular die won't do. I mean, if you're trying to get less run out because you're running inexpensive dies, like and when I say inexpensive, I'm saying a die set that's not going to cost over $100. You know what I'm saying? Because most people like me, when I was getting into it, I wanted to reload for multiple calibers. So I had to buy multiple die sets right off the bat. So I bought Lee because I could get, I think it was a 3-die set, which was a full length sizing die, a deadhead bullet seating die. And that was, a deadhead Lee bullet seating die has no crimp in it. And then a factory crimp die. And that was a 3-die set for rifle. And those were $35 or $39, I think, for a set of 3 dies at everything you needed. And, that versus $80 to $100, I could get a lot less a lot less calibers reloaded. So I just went for the cheaper of them. And when I got the more expensive dies and I started comparing them, I noticed that really you're paying a lot for a lot more polished surfaces, less tool marks, a better looking die in appearance, but not necessarily one that's going to be more accurate. You know what I'm saying? So, really, it really boils down to what you have to spend. When you go to get into dies and when you go to get into buying dies and reloading equipment, you got to set yourself up a budget, because really it's like anything else. If you're building a car motor, you can start out and you could literally drop $20,000 if you don't watch yourself very quickly. It's same thing with reloading and guns and any hobby. You got to set yourself some limits. Like, okay, I'm getting into reloading. I don't know if personally I'm going to like this or not. So maybe at first you want to set yourself with a budget around $500 or $600 or $200 or $300. And basically you're going to buy a inexpensive press, maybe one set of dies and all the things you need to do to reload that caliber and give it a whirl and see if you like it. I've had friends of mine that actually didn't like it. They were like, man, this is way too tedious for me. But then they bought all the equipment and they bought, I just told them basics, what they needed, and they got it all. And then when the ammo crisis first hit, back from Sandy Hook, they had the ability to reload because they had bought powder, bullets, casings, primers, and all that and didn't use it. But all of a sudden now his portable workstation that he could pull out of his closet and start reloading means that he could actually have ammunition and still shoot. And he thought that was really cool. I talked to him. He's like, yeah, man, I'm using that stuff again. I had to clean the cobwebs off of it. And I'm like laughing at him. And he's like, because he's out of state. And he's just like, my wife she's cleaning all my brass in the kitchen sink. And I'm like, because he doesn't have a tumbler. So basically he's taking white vinegar and he's pouring it in a mixture with water, and then he's stirring his brass in a sink, and I'm like, hey man, instead of doing that, you might want to use like a 2-liter pop bottle that you've cleaned out, soda pop bottle that you've cleaned out. That way you don't get any of that gook, that nasty gook in your sink around your dishes and stuff.
Got a few questions over there. You want to highlight them, or you just want me to call them out or read them out?
I can do this. Let's see. Are we talking to Andy?
Dead Horse has got one now. I don't know. Up there, Michael Hurtnick, he's got the question.
Dead Horse. I don't even see Dead Horse.
I can't highlight over here on my end.
Yeah, I don't see Dead Horse.
He's there.
Oh, there it is. All right. I hadn't rolled it down yet.
Are you gonna fiddle around on the bench shortly? You gonna do some work?
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna be continuing on my chamfer and deburring of 300 black, getting it completely done for my final stage, which will be loading and Dead Horse. I'm going two different directions. Yes. Factory crimp die is in hand. They sent mine yesterday, but not the 2-die set. Yeah, the 2-die set, she said, it should be arriving within the next couple weeks, she said. They told her that the special orders, Lee has been slammed, as everybody knows. But I've got the 22 TCM factory crimp in my hand, and I also have the quick trim die for the 22 TCM. So I'm just waiting on the deadhead bullet seating die and the full length Lee sizing die.
Got MacMan 039 reloading. Is that the same?
Yeah, that's your guy. That's our guy with the MacMan.
Changed his name though on his channel.
I don't know. I think MacMan always had that.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember it. For some odd reason, I thought it was just MacMan.
Yeah, you must be getting the link. Because mine just popped up. Oceans. I did it on top of my head. I did it on top of my head. What is he talking about?
I don't know. We've lost touch with the side chat here. I got to roll up. Ain't gonna take long. Just trying to see. We got about 15 on here. We need. Just go ahead. You want to call them out now? A few of them.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. See, Julian. Okay, we got Julian Dunbar. That's MacMan. Is that you, Julian? You got two channels, or is that someone else? Dead Horse, welcome. Good to have you here. Vanessa Kitty, Andy's 79Z28. Echo and up here on the screen in his cap. Sergeant Devil Dog. Good to see you, brother. Vanessa and Uncle John. Hello, bud. Rollis Carvelis. Good to see you. Michael Hurtnick. Always glad to see you. Uncle John. He's a regular. Good to see you, buddy. Willie, of course, is always here. Willie B. I kind of occasionally say. Julian Dunbar, which is Mac Man. Ocean, good to see you. How many more we got here? Hang on, guys. Let me scroll. Lead Bullet Junkie, 67 Rebel, good to see you. James Pollard, good to see you. And MacMan 039 Reloading, which I don't know if that's the same as Julian. So, oh, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, I got a private channel too, MacMan. With my name, I just don't use it. Yeah, it's easier to find us, he said. So, good to see you all.
Yeah, good to see everybody in the side chat there. Lead Bullet Junkie. I have a few dies to calibers I don't own either, but I do reload for some friends of mine that hunt. So I do use I use a few of them. I've got some crazy calibers that I haven't come across. Anybody with a Weatherby 270 Weatherby Magnum, I think they are. There's some kind of Weatherby cartridge. I believe it's 270 Weatherby. I might be mistaken, but I've also got 300 Win Mag dies, and I've got 6.5 Creedmoor. What else do I have that I don't shoot? 4570, 30-06. I think
Hatred in the dark. Welcome, man. Welcome,
and regular 270 dies. So I've got a few calibers that I reload for, but a lot of it's just for hunting. You know, guys that hunt out west and up north, and they go out and they can stretch their legs with their rifle calibers.
What's up, MK Joe? I'll call it. Is that the way you pronounce it? I keep asking you that. But yeah, good to see you all. Get to doing something, Echo.
Get to doing something. Is that what they're saying?
No, I'm saying it.
Well, I mean, this is a chat. This is a chat.
You're not going to piddle around on the bench?
No, that's why I named it this and not 300 Blackout, because I didn't feel like pulling powder tonight because I didn't get the bullets I wanted.
Okay. It says reloading live stream. Okay. So.
Well, we're talking about reloading.
I got you. I'm messing with
you. What are you reading? Are you reading the side? Wake up, boys. Hey, everyone. Yeah. Hey, Jamie.
What's up, JH? 6-shooter Texan, welcome. JH, good to see you.
Yeah, anyways, what we're talking about tonight is dies. The topic that I picked for the channel, since it's my channel.
Whoa.
I'm just messing with you, brother. No, I picked dies because dies are something that every reloader is going to have to buy. And everybody buys dies sets for ammo they're going to reload. Some people will even pick up dies like Dead Horse. If he sees a cell on a set of dies, and they may not be for a caliber that he reloads for, he goes ahead and buys them because he knows someday he may have to reload for that caliber. And if you can't get the dies, you're SOL. So
what company guys actually give dies with their kits? Can anybody name that? Or the company? I think of all the companies, RCBS, their kits, master kits, whatever they want to call them, Lyman. Who does it? We should offer a prize, but we don't have one. But the only company I know of is Dillon that has dies that go with things. Even their Square Deal B.
Yeah, but they don't give them. They don't give them to you.
No, they're in there. Oh yeah, you're gonna pay for them, but no other company does. Most reloaders go buy the whole kit and they come home and they set it down and go, "Oh, this is crap." Uh-oh, gotta buy this, gotta buy that, gotta buy the chamfer, deburr. You do get that usually in most kits, but
Yeah,
they
I
don't give
mean,
dies.
yeah. The thing is with Dylan, their dies are specifically designed for progressive reloading. So I have seen a couple sets of them. They usually have a very beveled entryway so that if the brass is slightly misaligned coming up on the shell plate, that it will index into the full length sizing die correctly. Um, I've also know that they use a different decapper pin assembly so that when you go to decap and resize with the one stroke, that the decapping pin will not push the uh, primer out, and then when you push the handle up, pull it back in by piercing through the primer sometimes. That's a problem with progressive presses, and this is something I've been told by High Boy, and not by myself because I don't own a progressive. So I'm just repeating information, and I've heard from Wayne over at Mighty Armory. So yeah, that's not a personal thing that I know, but I just wanted to clarify that. But the thing is, what did he put up here?
Well, these notifications on my PC has got to go. I had Walter Bunning jump out every time somebody posts a video. I don't mind them on my phone, but they're on my PC, driving me crazy.
Well, yeah, but I think because you have YouTube on your PC, it's going to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure a way.
You can go in.
Here we go. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
going
go.
in now. Here we go.
All right. So what I was
Stop.
saying was, what are you doing?
I just stopped it. I went into the settings and stopped it. So, hang on. Okay, there we go. I'm done.
I'm like, you're stop. I'm like, I stopped. What's going on? I mean, I'm like, I didn't know if you were telling me to stop. I was like,
no. I stopped those notifications right quick.
Okay.
Went straight.
All right. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is dies. We all have to buy them. We all buy different calibers. Sometimes we buy calibers that we don't reload for because we reload for friends, family, or somebody that in our family or one of our friends has that caliber and they don't want to buy all the reloading stuff or don't have time to do it. So you do them a batch or two, basically, hold on. My cat, I'm going to have to kill her. I think she's just meowing at the top of her lungs at the front door.
My dog is finally quiet this evening.
Yeah, I know. Your dog's quiet and my cat's meowing. So I'm going to have to get her little catnip toys and then grab her and put her in my lap so that she can be a good girl. I know. You're such a sweetie. You really are. Everybody's interrupting us tonight, Kit Kat.
Regardless,
why should it be any different?
I love high-priced dies and micrometer dies. They're just great. Gives you a lot of control. They're not cheap, but I like them. Forster's probably the most affordable out there in micro dies. And, you can also, even on Forster, they also do you can fire your gun and they will hone out a die specifically for your chamber. You send the die in, I think, in 3, 4, or 5 shots. I can't remember now, of your brass, and they will do the die.
Yeah. Most of the die companies, if you send them 3 pieces of fired brass, will make you a die. If you have a Wildcat, or if you have specific die once, like you only want it bumping the die back 2 thousandths, and you need it custom die made, they will make you a die full length for it.
Hornady does it. They hone them out in Forster. The others don't. Most of them.
What are you talking about?
Forster and Hornady, they actually do send in brass. Some of the companies you can't send in brass.
Well, Redding you can, and same with Lee.
Lee will do a custom chamber. Oh wow!
Yeah. Lee, you can actually order blank dies from Lee and blank molds
Most
and
people
do
probably
your
don't know
own.
that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, but if you gotta ask a lot of questions when you're trying to, like, I was having issues with a specific die from
Mhm.
Lee, and come to find out after hours of trying to figure out heads or tails why this die isn't working correctly. I was using a Lee Collet die for 7mm Mauser,
Mhm.
and I was running it up, and no matter how gently I ran that up, it was just crushing the neck. Like, when I was running it up in there, it's a collet. So basically, you run it up into this collet, and as the shell plate or shell holder hits against the bottom of the die, it's got a sliding collet that slides up in there, and the shell will sit in that collet, be supported, and as it moves up, it will make it's got a taper on it, so it rolls that collet tighter onto the neck and neck sizes the brass. Well,
Mhm.
I couldn't even get the piece of brass up into the collet without it just ripping the neck all to pieces. So I took 3 pieces of tore up brass, 3 pieces of once fired brass, and sent
Mhm.
it to Lee. And Lee told me that they had miscalculated their 7mm collet neck sizing die, and they basically fixed it. They shortened the overall collet length,
Mhm.
which let me get my die up in there without enforcing it into the taper as quick. And they changed their design because even the fella from this is why I recommend Titan Reloading. I was having this issue, and I was dealing with Titan and I was dealing with Lee. And I sent the stuff to Titan and had him check the brass. He took a brand new die off of his wall, ran it up in his press, and he's like, yeah, it's doing the same thing. So he went over to Lee. Long story short, they figured out they had an issue and they fixed it. But that's what I'm talking about. So if you guys have a problem with a die and you've tried everything, like calling your friends and they've told you, and it's just not, you can't make anything out of it, call the company. Call the
Mhm.
company,
Well,
either the company
mhm.
that manufactured it or the company you bought it from. See if they'll
Yeah.
help you out.
I agree they all do, but what I was really referring to was that Forrester, for example, they when you send in your fired brass, they actually ream the neck out tension and adjust it to you where it's better. A lot of companies don't do that like that. Hornady, I think, actually may ream the die, but typically they got bushing die, so they probably wouldn't do that. But that's what I was referring to earlier.
Mm.
Not just repairing the die or anything. Forrester actually adjusts the neck tension for you from that fire die, whatever to go in your chamber and to go in your die better, to give you a better fit in your chamber. So they specifically cater to those shooters like that. So, I hope that makes sense what I said. So,
Yeah, you need to call your die manufacturer though, because
mhm.
several other ones do the exact same thing.
Mhm.
You just got to ask them, and they're going to charge you for it as well. It's not free.
Mhm.
They're going to charge you shipping back to you and a small fee for reaming
Mhm.
out the die. And a
Mhm.
lot of them will tell you over the phone how to do it. If you're a do it yourselfer, you can
Mhm.
sometimes figure out how to do it. They'll tell you how to ream the die out to open it up with a wooden dowel, and rolling the die with like 1,000 grit sandpaper on it or 800 grit sandpaper, wet sand on it, and it will
Mhm.
literally polish the inside of
Mhm.
the neck down a half a thousand pretty quickly. I've seen some of the other guys doing that with the sizing dies for the bullets, for the cast bullets. They'll open them up a little bit if they want a tad bit bigger.
Yeah, and then if you want to go further, you can get the L.E. Wilson dies, which have bushings. A Whidden die has bushings. I think CNS CAS has the bushings. Reading, of course, has got bushings. I hear L.E. Wilson's got some good bushings. Their bushings are a little more tolerance is supposedly a little bit better. But I want to get some L.E. Wilson bushings in here for my Reading dies. Thought I'd throw that in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't beat bushing dies because you can control the neck tension a lot better. And now also you won't wear your brass out, your neck out as fast. A full length die works the necks a lot harder, typically from the factory. So,
Yeah, you can also do it. I just want to say, hey, G Webs, what's going on, brother?
hey,
The reason you can use a collet die from Lee to do your necks, and I've had very good experience with that because the way the Lee collet die works is it's got a free floating mandrel that's set at the neck tension you want. That goes down inside your brass, and it's got a decapping pin on it. So it will line itself up with your flash hole, free floating, mind you. So if your brass isn't completely concentric, it will float on this mandrel, which is dead nut straight. And then it starts applying that collet crimp onto just the neck, and it will just shrink that neck down, a couple thousandths, or you can actually have them make you a custom mandrel where you can have any amount of neck tension that you want. So there's a couple ways to tackle it. That's less expensive way to do it. I use collet dies on all my brass, whether it's Lapua or if it's Starline or if it's just range pickup and I'm trying to do something for a bolt gun. I'll just go ahead and neck size it as long as it's been already fire formed out of my rifle.
I've never used that system, but I know it works. I'm more familiar with
The bushing system.
Yeah, bushing system. Oh,
Well, both of them are good. It's just what price range do you want to get into? Because to get less than a thousandths run out on a bushing system, you really need to invest into some aftermarket bushings. What'll happen is sometimes you'll get the bushing is in a different spot because of they free float inside the die, but maybe you don't have the die cranked down to the exact point where you had it before, or maybe you're using a different press, and you may get a little bit of variation inside that die from where that bushing rides in there, and it can give you a little bit of run out. And that's why I never got into bushing dies. But now there are companies like SAC that actually make these super nice, and L.E. Wilson that make these super nice bushings that you can actually get less than a thousandths worth of run out. But then again, I've already got the Lee collet dies, and basically the only thing the Lee collet dies and these bushing dies and stuff, they work harden just the neck instead of work hardening.
You're not shilling tonight, are you?
What are you talking about?
Shilling for Lee.
No,
I'm just messing with you.
No, I just said that the Lee dies and the bushing dies both work harden the neck. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not shilling, but they both. When you're just sizing one piece of the neck or one piece of the brass, you're going to harden that certain piece of the neck.
Yeah.
Or that piece of the brass that you're squeezing back. What Elliot's saying is you just squeezing the brass one time, you're just squeezing it down. You're not shoving an expander ball into it, making it really big, and then putting it into a real small part of the die, and then bringing it back over that expanding ball that sets your neck tension. And when it does that, because you're pulling the brass out unsupported, it's the brass is breaking free from the inside of that full length sizing die. It's no longer being supported by anything other than the shell plate or the shell holder. And if sometimes pulling that back over the expander ball, setting your neck tension, will cause run out. And if you ever want to question if the die is causing the run out, your press, or if it's the expander ball, just remove the expander ball assembly out of your die, run a piece of brass up in it, and run it on a concentricity gauge, and then run that same piece of brass up in there with the expander ball on it, and then run it on the concentricity gauge and check it.
I have the steel expander balls, and I have the upgrade carbide ball expander balls by Redding. All my guys upgraded it, but I don't typically use it. I typically use the Sinclair mandrel. I don't do it on 223, but I use it on 308 and probably 6.5 if I get one, or whatever caliber I get in the future. But I don't. Carbide's about a 30. It used to be about a $35 upgrade to upgrade that expander ball. And, supposedly more smoother, slicker. It does work a little bit better. Now, the only thing is you can polish steel expanders to fit better. You can actually polish those and take them down a little bit.
Yeah, if you're trying to polish carbide, you're going to be there for a couple years.
Yeah, so you kind of stuck on that. I bought 2 upgrades for 223 and a 308 a few years back. I used a 223.
Have you noticed any less run out in the? What did the carbide do for you over the steel?
When I run, actually, when I use carbide on 223 and a Redding die, I have only a thou or half a thou run out or less on 223, even on range scrap. Yeah, without a mandrel. Yeah. So it does real well. It don't have much run out. And I haven't did a lot of 308 because I do the mandrel. That seems to do better. So I don't use the carbide expander ball on that one, even though I bought it. So, but yeah, I have good rubber. I got it over here. I could run it out on the gauge right now and show you. It has very little run out. I did a video on that one time, I think. But that's the die I used to get that very slight run out. Was the Redding with the carbide upgrade.
Yeah, Redding builds a good die. They're just pricey.
Yeah, well, I paid 50. Believe it or not, back then I paid $50 for which is way higher than Lee. Granted, $50 for a Type S die. I think it was in the $50 range.
That's still cheaper than what it is right now. I think they're almost $75 now, aren't they?
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
And that means you also have to buy the bushings, and those are like 18 or 15 or $18 a piece, dependent. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3, so I got basically $80. Well, not 80, maybe 60 or $70 in bushings just for the 308 for the Type S. I got 2. I got a 223 Type S die. I've never used it though, so it's up there in the cabinet. I just decided I don't need it because I don't have a bolt gun. We talked about this a while back.
Yeah, you need to get a bolt gun. Hey, you know what they say. You got the semi-automatic gun that you sit there and hold with a magazine, and you could fire 30 rounds, 60 rounds. I sound like one of those anti-gun freaking morons. But for the older guys like myself and AR here, my arms get tired after a while. After a few magazine dumps, I'm like, I got to set the rifle down, and then I can sit down at the bench and shoot my bolt action rifle and be like, it's totally supported. You got a bag or a bipod and you got a bag on the tail end of the rifle, and you're holding it there, and you're just like pop, and you're looking through the scope. It's a totally different kind of shooting. You know what I'm saying? The one is, I don't know, it both fun, but I can do the rifle thing, bolt action, when I'm using a bench all day long. Whereas even though the recoil is a little heavier, but the AR-15 I can only shoot because of I've been getting weak. I think my upper body strength is just terrible now. I mean, my arms are just getting weak as I get older. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed, like, I think every 10 years or so, you'll notice like a major change in your body. And I've noticed that I just don't have the strength in my upper arms and body that I once had. I'll be cranking on a wrench or something, and I'll be like, man, really? That's all I got? I'm like pulling on it. I'm like, what's going on here? Anybody else noticing their age?
Lord.
It sucks.
What
Getting
what
old
an
sucks,
interesting
man. That's
subject.
all I gotta say. When my dad used to tell me that when I was a kid, I'd be like, "Get your old ass out of the way. Let me hammer with that sledgehammer a little bit, you know." And I'd be working it for a while, and I'd be like, "Man, the old man wasn't kidding. This is kind of heavy." But
If, or, when do you think we ought to bring some people in here?
oh well, if we got people asking about wanting to come on and talk reloading,
Not yet.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk like, you know, I want to stay on topic tonight. You know, I want to talk reloading. I want to talk guns. You know, anything to do with that. I want a Second Amendment. If anybody wants to come on and, you know, shoot the crap with us and have a nice talk about reloading, firearms, Second Amendment, or you know, stay on topic with guns tonight, that'd be fine. I don't have a problem with that. Basically, because I could not. Here's the thing. I'm wanting to finish up this 300 blackout reloading series, and it's going to kill me whether hell or high water. I've been looking high and low for gold dots in 100 grain, the 7.62, you know, diameter, 308 diameter. I've been looking for gold dots in 100 grain to 125, anything in between there. All I need is 100 bullets. You know, so if anybody finds or knows where I can buy a box of those, I don't want them for free. I don't want anybody sending me nothing. I just need some help in finding them so that I can buy them and get these 300 black loaded up that I have. And I want to finish out that load series. But, you know, I got primers, I've got powder. I just don't have bullets. And I know bullets are out there. We just need to find them so I can finish this series.
Gun loving grandpa's in here. Hey.
Oh.
What's up?
Hey, gun loving grandpa.
Good to see you. I've seen him on a few other chats. Well, but
let's see, what's Andy saying? Oh, okay. He's saying hi to gun loving. What's Vanessa saying here? Laughing out loud.
Can you highlight them?
I now has macular degeneration. Heard that term many a times before. See stuff through it like a funnel, like a fun house. Yep, mirror.
Jamie says he'll check his LGS as soon as I can. Echo.
Yeah, if you can see if they have any of those, Jamie, and pick those up, I'll send you the cash for that and the snail mail to my house, so that I can have those bullets. Okay. All right, hold on for just a second. Talk to the crowd, Elliot. My wife just came home. I got to grab something heavy out of the car for her.
Okay. I don't have a link. Good gracious. Got me here without a link.
Yeah, you got a link. I sent you one.
Oh, yeah. Let me go copy it. Hang on. I got to go copy it. That's the thing. Say I don't run the chat. Anybody want to come on? MacMan? Anybody's welcome. Whoever wants to hop in here, let me go make a copy. I've got to actually go to my email, guys. So hold on. Means I got to open another friggin' browser. Hang on just a second. I'll get it. Now on, I'll copy the Joker starting out, so we don't have to worry with this. Okay. I got to go to the YouTube side. I'm going to post this here instead of email. There you go. Hope everyone's doing good today. It's good to see you all. I kind of feel more comfortable actually showing products and things. So, I was showing dies last night, micro dies and stuff. I didn't say why I use them. I use them because I like the control of the dies. I use the instant indicator, of course, and I also use the comparator. You got to have one of these, or at least some brand. I think even Wooden Dies makes one. They do make one forever. I think they actually sell it with their dies. They do sell it, so you can get your custom comparator with it with that brand there. So most of my dies are either Forster or Redding. I don't have a. I got a Fairtree crimp die and a mandrel, but that's about it. I need to get a few Lee dies, especially 9mm. I've got a Redding 9mm die set with the. It has the kind of like two-step flare. I think it's two-step, maybe three. But I'm thinking two. I could be wrong, guys. I also bought a titanium extra one with it, so I basically bought 4 dies, almost $100. And
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
mm-hmm.
I spent because I wanted a set of dies for 45 auto, and I was like, the only 45 auto dies I could see, and I was just going to buy Lee because you know, why not spend a lot less money on something for a pistol that I'm going to shoot at max 25 yards. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time I'm shooting at, 15 yards, maybe 20 yards, sometimes up close at 10 yards. So the bottom line is, why did I want to spin that? I was like, because I was just like everybody else. I wanted the 45 auto dies, and I wanted them yesterday. I didn't want to buy a used set. I wanted new. So I went and bought the, I believe they're called the competition, Redding competition 45 auto dies. And they come with a competition micrometer bullet seating die.
Yeah.
They come with an expander die and a full length sizing die, but they didn't come with a crimp die. So I had to buy. Or no. They did come with a crimp die.
Cedar and crimp combo.
No. It's not. They came with because it's a competition with the little doohickey on the top. What is you know what I'm talking about? The little, what is that? Yeah, the micrometer. Yeah. So it's got that on the top, so it doesn't have that feature. So it came with a crimp die separate, and that's all it does is crimp. And then it came with the full length sizing die. Well, I realized that I might be messing this up, but the reason it didn't come with one of them. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to grab the set of dies. Hold on. This is stupid. I'm going to tell the story, and it's going to be backwards because my ass will hit it backwards.
Show them the dies.
I will once I get them pulled out.
I know they got a premium set that has the titanium expander in it. I wanted to get that. It's about $160, I think, for the whole set, in 9mm or 40 S&W.
Yeah, I think the one I got is that premium set because mine were $205. And I thought that was ridiculous for pistol brass dies. I was like, dude, that's more than I've spent. They what?
That's if I see the box, I'll know what they are. Premium or the deluxe. I think they're premium. It says on it. It's gold. Got gold on its ones I'm thinking about, but you may have a different one.
Yeah, let me get some magnifier. Yeah, they got a lot of die sets. All these companies do.
Yeah, it gets confusing with Redding. What they got their A dies or B dies or C dies.
Okay, this is what this one's called. I found it.
Okay.
It's a Redding competition Pro Series die set. And it's got titanium carbide. It's got titanium carbide. So basically,
let's see the label.
Yeah.
You got it?
Can you see that? Let me know. Up, down, left.
You got all we see is your cat.
My cat?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And
Oh,
you haven't been on the camera since you've been
dude,
talking.
I know, dude. I was like, I'm right in front of the camera, and I'm like, my cat. I'm like looking around for my cat. I'm like, am I stepping on her? Where is she? I mean,
Your
tonight was
avatar.
just a dumpster. Hey, we got someone coming in. Let's see who this is. Who this is?
Mr. Zink. What's up?
Mr. Zink.
Zink.
Ah,
Show us that die set, man.
I'm trying to get to the over
Get
here.
time.
Yeah, here we
I want to
go.
see that front part of it because I think it's the one I'm thinking about.
Is
I
this
like
the
that
same one you're talking about, Elliot?
No, that's not it.
That's not it. See, I thought it was different.
Another, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They get confusing. They got another set that's got gold on it, a gold label. And
Yeah.
It's, got a titanium expander, a micro, all that.
Yeah, yeah. So this doesn't have a crimp die. So basically, I want a taper crimp for a 45 auto. Obviously, it's not going to be a roll crimp with a semi-auto. But the thing is, let's see here. Wait a minute. I've got all these packages. I want to see if they sent me. If I ordered, that's 308.
How's your boat going, Mr. Zink? You got that taken care of yet?
Not in my hands yet, that's for sure.
Okay. Gunsmith still got it?
Well, he turned around and told me they still haven't given him the invoice to pay. So
okay.
He said he was calling him on Tuesday or something. So he says, no worries, he'll get it. So we'll see.
Okay.
The main reason why I asked to come on is Lead Bullet Junkie made a comment about zinc and aluminum molds. And I just want to do a quick explanation of it.
Sounds good.
The problem why we were not able to cast zinc and aluminum molds is we ran our zinc too cool, is the best way to put it. We were all doing around that 810, 820 degree temperature or so. And it was really, really hard to open the molds. So what actually destroys the mold is trying to open it. Not the heat of the zinc. It's just you couldn't open the mold, so you really had to hit it hard. And it's same thing with a steel mold. We were hitting it very hard. And we used to have to tap it to get a nice flat base and stuff. Well, it all started when I decided to try to cast some 223 bullets in aluminum molds from NOE. And I couldn't get a good bullet to cast because there's so much aluminum. All right. So I kept bringing the temperature up of my zinc till I got good pours. When I got a good pour, you could open the mold with your hand.
Wow.
So I said, okay, this is an interesting discovery. I mean, I was at about 880 degrees when I finally got everything working right. And so I took out a brand new, that 230 grain Lee missile die, because I ruined my old one because the mold's very hot and you got to hit it very hard. And the only thing that got damaged was the bases of the bullets because you oblonged the hole from trying to open it, from hitting it hard. You actually were forcing the aluminum to like, you were hitting hot aluminum with a hammer. That's what you were doing. So I took out the brand new mold and I started casting, and I did up to date. I'm at about 600 of those bullets, and the bowl opens when you try to open the mold. You just barely tap it and it opens up. And then trying that same thing with the steel mold at the higher temperatures, the base is filled out perfectly without tapping. The mold opened up so much easier. And after doing my research, the reason being is well, zinc melts at 780 degrees. Well, that's where it melts. Lead melts at 450 degrees, but we're running 700.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you run the hotter temperature is because the lead becomes more liquefied at a higher temperature. So the same thing applies to the zinc. When you get the temperature up there, it is more liquefied. All right. So it pours and casts much easier. And the extra heat just makes it open up like it, you can really just hit it with the palm of your hand and you'll open the mold. So that's for Lead Bullet Junkie. If you're out there, check out my last video that I made on zinc, Lead Bullet Junkie. You'll see it in action. Okay, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about working. All right, that's it. I don't want to hog your channel. I just was reloading related.
Oh, you're fine.
Bullet Junkie was
that's okay, brother.
You're fine. It sounds good. You sound like you're becoming the Mr. Zinc for sure, working with that stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for Walter. Walter's been busy. He hasn't tried it yet. Walter hasn't tried it yet. He's going to test it out. I'm not sure if Willie tried it yet. But I know he will if he didn't. And James Pollard is out there doing some zinc, and he's playing with stuff. So he saw and understands, to try to, he's got the right pot now, so he can just, let that thing get hot. And again, it's also, you gotta, when you preheat your molds, you turn up that hot plate to 3/4 of the way and get it hot. Let it sit there 20 minutes as you're melting down the zinc. You just let it sit on the thing, and I'll tell you, first pour, it opened like it was butter. First pour. So.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that stuff. I'm not casting
I know,
yet.
But, there's a handful of us now playing with the zinc, and I know Willie knows about it, and I know Walter knows about it, and whether or not I know Walt hasn't done it yet, but I don't know if Willie has or not. But and I know Eagle Eye mentioned something. I don't know if he's just like being a little sarcastic or he's tried it. Because labeled me as the zinc guru master, and it's like, so okay, I don't know that I'm the master of it. I just tried something and it worked. And and when you sit back and think about why it worked, it all makes sense.
Good info. Very good info.
Yeah, I'm looking at this die set, and it's titanium carbide. For the full length sizing die. Then it's got this other die that's in the middle, and I'm guessing that this is a crimping die.
Blow yourself up and show it.
I'm gonna show you guys this picture. This thing.
There Andy done took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, Andy. And talking
Andy, thanks for coming by and letting us know about that, brother. I was an idiot trying to read this to figure out. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see shiny.
Oh, hold on. Do you see how it's hollow?
Yeah. Yep.
And basically, I'm thinking that this is got to be if this is a hollow die, this has got to have this has got to be the crimp die.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because even in the top of it, there's no threads or anything. The top of it's smooth.
One of those die sets come with don't come with something. I forget what it is. Ready makes a set too. You buy a pro set or something that does not come with one die. You have to buy extra. I forget.
I think it's the expander because this doesn't have an expander in it. You've got the full length sizing, and then
the kit then.
Yeah. Then I got to get an expander, which would explain why I have this, because I didn't even know I had that.
Yeah, you got to buy that separate. That I remember.
And this was ridiculously overpriced as well. I remember, I want to say this was another $40, because this is a titanium tin, titanium nitrate coated expander, and basically
Don't they
it's
advertise
ready.
it targeted at progressive? Don't they advertise it for progressive presses?
Yes,
Too?
this
Okay.
this is advertised. Why are you looking at it right now?
Oh, I've looked at it before in the past.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I just recall. Yeah. I've seen the reloader dude work with them, and I've got a brochure here I look at and go through occasionally.
yeah. This is what they call. Okay, just so in case anybody in the side chat wants to know these part numbers, that expander that I just showed is called a expander die premium 45 ACP, part number 96189. Once again, that's 96189 for the expander die premium 45 ACP Redding. And then for the actual 45 kit that I've got here, this is, let me close it so I can.
They make a standard set. They make what you have. Then they make another premium set, this gold.
Yeah.
And that gold is one I want. And I'd like to have that 9mm.
Yeah.
It's got carbide, titanium expander, all of it.
Yeah. This set is the Redding competition die set is what they're calling this one. And it's a Pro Series. Part number is 58189. So basically, if you look at the serial number on this die set, it's the part number, it's 58189, and the expander that I had here is part number is 96189. So these obviously have the last 3 digits in common. So that's probably why Redding did that, so that that completes this set.
If I had my Redding brochure here, I would show you all the other set that I'm wanting eventually. But I don't.
Now, what sets are you wanting to get? You're wanting to get what?
It's a premium deluxe or premium set. It's I've got the titanium expander because I bought it. My die set was on like a $60 9mm set. If you buy it in the premium gold, it's got a gold label on it. It comes with a titanium expander in that set, and it also comes with a micro adjustable seater.
Yeah, micrometer for the seating.
Micrometer, yeah. And man, it's like $160, but it's a nice set. It really is. Hang on, let me go.
Still cheaper than what I don't know. See, I didn't know what this set actually cost was the problem. When I bought this, I also ordered from Midway the premium expander for 45 auto, and I ended up paying right at a little over $200 with shipping. So I'm not sure, or maybe it was more than that. It might have been even more than that, because that die set I want to say was $200.
Here it is. I got it in the mag. It's called the premium die set 45 ACP gold label would be 66189 part number.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's available in 380, 32, 32 HR. Of course, 45 9mm and probably 40.
How much?
Yeah, definitely. I see it online about 160, 159, 150.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so basically I got
right.
Okay, so add that plus the die. How does it have the die for the expander for it? I can give you the part number.
Yeah, it's titanium coated. I bought that extra. I actually got that particular expander.
How much is that one?
I paid $40 for it just for the expander.
You're talking 160 plus 440. You're talking $200. So that's what I paid.
I spent about 100 something. I paid $100 something on my die when I could have bought this for 159 and had it ready to go with carbide. But I bought a steel die set instead, which I don't regret. But I may end up buying this one in time. But it's a pretty good one.
And another thing you gotta realize about Lee, Lyman, and RCBS dies and Redding is that Lee, RCBS, Lyman, and hold on, Lyman, RCBS, Lee, Hornady all have weep holes. And what a weep hole is, it's a hole in the side of the die, and it is a very expensive hole. The machine that drills that hole is over $100,000 for to just drill that one hole in the side so that it doesn't cause a scrape in the side of the casing when you are pushing your brass up in there. And what a weep hole does is if you've got a buildup of too much lubricant for the case in there, it gives it a place to escape. Plus, it actually is designed for air escapation, air capture and escape. It's made to let air out of there so that when you're using a progressive press, you're not having problems fully seating the brass into the die. If that air gets trapped in there and you have a really good fit between the brass and the sidewalls of the die, then you're not going to get much air escape. So you can it can jam up the system. It can cause some issues where your brass doesn't get resized all the way. So most companies will do a weep hole. Redding does not.
That's unfortunate. Hole. They make two premium die sets, one for rifle cartridges, and then they make one for the handgun. And, they're like they say, they're about $159 average.
So basically, that is what I got. There is a premium package. No.
You got the one that's designed the Pro for progressive press. It's done. I think the radius on those dies you got's a little wider or something for the progressive, but you can still use them on any press. It's just I think the radius. I have to look. Hang on. I think the radius is on the Pro is different, which doesn't mean anything. It's really not a big deal. You can still use them on anything, turret, single stage. But hang on a minute. Let me look at see. I got the Master Hunter. I got that in 308 set, which is at one time was $119 here 4 or 5 years ago. Now that thing's like 160, 170, which is outrageous how high it's got. Let's see.
Okay, Andy 79Z28 just dropped a bomb on us. He thinks that what is it, Mid-South? Yeah, Mid-South Shooting Supplies maybe running a sale right now. So that's just a heads up to all the reloaders in the audience. Maybe running a little bit of a sale. And if anybody else knows of any deals on reloading equipment, primers in stock, powder or bullets, and of course, after you've ordered what you need, please post that link or not the link, but please let us know in the comments so that we could pass that information along to everybody.
It's so hard to find their Pro die set in their thing. Oh,
it's
here we
hard
go.
To find.
I got it.
It's hard
competition
for me to find
series die
anything in
sets.
there.
Here you go. Jesus, it says Carbide Pro Series set retails. Of course, that's MSRP 264, 9mm Luger and 500 SMW 289. Of course, we know it's not that high. So it's it's called Competition Pro Progressive Series 3 die sets. Are designed for use in progressive reloading machines by reloaders seeking the best possible bullet alignment. That's what I was thinking earlier, if that's what your set is. But you can use them in anything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just that the opening on the entryway is opened more. On the base of the bullet is opened. You can tell when I look at the bullet, the competition seating die. I was like, wow, that's flared. It's like tapered open. Like, where usually you'll have the brass, it'll run up in there, but I've only used it with bottleneck cartridges and they don't have that problem because the neck is smaller than the rest of the body. So the neck kind of gets centered by the body going into the die and, centers it. But with this die, it starts with a wide opening, but when I shoved my pinky up in there, it got tight right in the last bit. So it actually holds that casing.
Right. Here's a tech tip. That Pro Series comes in a carbide and also comes in another set called the non-carbide competition Pro die sets, depending on which one you want. It's a little more affordable. If you choose the carbide route, you're going higher dollar. So it comes in two versions.
That's the one I got is carbide. It says carbide 10 because the bullet seating die has tin coating on the part that the shell case goes up into.
The steel, though, unfortunately, only comes in just a very select calibers like 45-70, 38-55, 38-40. So it don't cover the calibers that the carbide set does, which is kind of weird. Yeah. But it's still called Competition Pro die set. Go figure.
So, AR, do we have anybody asking any questions out there? It's kind of my vision. Blurry, brother.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And so I was thinking about why aren't you blowing them up? Because I was thinking I was blowing them up the other night, and I couldn't figure out what. I'm sorry about that. Echo. Hang on a minute. Because I have to see to see. Hey, Tim S. is with us. Hey, welcome, brother. Let's see who else. So I don't have the ability to highlight. I just have to scroll up and look. Sorry, guys. I'll try to keep an eye on if you have any questions for Echo and me. If we can answer them, we will. Let's see. It's 133 on Mid-South, Andy says. I have the Lee 4-hole turret value, turret press with auto index. Yeah, I'd like to have that. I want that thing. I thought I'd never need another press, but yep. Now I may end up selling the press.
I told Elliot about the 4-hole turret, and he was like, "Really?" And then one night we were online together, and I was reloading that 223, and I'm using range scrap. This is stuff, and the funny thing is, you guys, when I tell you range scrap, this is at a range where we're standing on gravel, and the brass is down in the gravel, and people are just walking on it. This is the worst shape brass. Like, I've found cartridges that date back to 64 and NATO stamps out there, and they're completely look like they were steel cartridge cases, but they were actually brass. They were just that corroded that I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Vanessa, I got a car that's got the fuel injectors. I think it's a second generation called Tune Port. Talking about fuel. She mentioned something about fuel injections.
What year's yours?
89. That was the first one. I forget the name of it, but it was crappy.
Crossfire.
Crossfire, yeah. Lower horsepower. It was a piece of junk.
Oh, it leaked like sieves too. I tell you what, the IROC Z had that system on it. And that was a nightmare. That Crossfire injection wasn't any good. The Tune Port, he had it in 89, I think he just said, but I didn't get it in the Camaro. They didn't put it in the Camaro until 92. And I had the 25th anniversary edition 92 Z28, brand new in 92. And it had the 350 small block Chevy 5.7 liter, but it had the Corvette flags. When you raise the hood, my intake had two pieces of plastic that ran right back and joined into a single plume like a Y. And it had the flags from the Corvette right there. And on the top of my radiator, it had a Corvette radiator, Corvette intake. It had the Corvette all aluminum Tune Port injection intake manifold. It had the stainless or the disc brakes all the way around with anti-lock. Or no anti-lock. They would lock, but it had what they considered the performance axle package that gave you the higher gear in the rear end and gave you brakes all the way around.
I've got
were
that.
disc.
My Corvette's not the Z package, but it is a higher gear rear end, and it's also upgraded exhaust, and I forget what else. But it's not a Z
Yeah,
package, but
right.
it
But
is a step
the
up.
Corvette, you got to admit,
Mhm.
that was the top of the line car. It
Mhm.
came with everything. It even came with, now they come with cross-drilled ventilated disc brakes on them. They come with the latest and greatest. Like they have stuff that the other cars, like your car's what year?
89.
89. My
Mhm.
car was a 92, but my car's first year with the four-wheel disc brakes,
Mhm.
where it was 92, where your car had them since 84, four-wheel disc brakes.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of things in Chevrolet they did on the vet before they did them on the other cars.
Yes.
The technology. Yeah, yeah mine's my seats are. I don't have the exhaust. I just got a standard. I mean, not exhaust. I have the standard uh, shocks. I don't have that crap where you pump up and sport and all that, which I don't stand. I don't have the race seats, which I hate. I got standard seats, which are comfortable. I've got 10-speed auto air. The upgrade, the rear end and all that. So it's pretty good. It's you can put it on auto, put it at 69 degrees, it'll maintain 69. Seats are electric. You go up and down, back and forth. And believe it or not, my seats still work, which is weird. A lot of these cars don't. This old, and they still function like new, which I'm glad they do on this one. I seen one today. Matter of fact, looked like candy apple red with 20,000 miles on it. They wanted $21,000 for it.
1,000 a mile
Mhm.
plus a little bit extra. That
This
was
is
just for
huge.
the salesman.
You could get that car probably for 13 or 14 about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everything's going up.
Yeah.
Inflation.
Mhm.
LBJ, what is you said you've been working on your truck the last 4 days. What are you doing?
Got Thorzak's here. Welcome. Good to see you.
Ab.
Ab. I had totally forgot about since my chat last night that I have to help you out, Echo. So I apologize for that.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
sometimes it's hard. I got to get like
I know.
within an inch of the screen to be able to see it clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. Stupid of me forgetting, but I did.
And I don't speak English. That wasn't my first language.
Yeah.
I always tell people that, and they're like, they look at me like, "What are you talking about? English wasn't your first language."
Uncle Jim says, "Dude, he's here."
Uncle Jim, what is going on, brother? Dude. You got to do the what movie was that from? AR, are you too old for that?
I
You're too old for
remember
that.
it, but I don't
You
remember the
remember it. It
name.
was one of those kids movies, where they got the 16-year-old kids in it, a bunch of potheads and
That goofy blonde guy is still
yeah,
around.
yeah. What the
I forget
hell's his
name.
name?
I forget. He's not quite the biggest actor now that he used to be, though.
Yeah. You know what I saw the other night? I was on one of the TV channels I was watching was the story of Grizzly Adams, and it had the real guy from and I'm confused because when I was a kid, I used to watch Grizzly Adams. That used to come on Saturday evenings around 6 p.m. in Florida.
I remember.
And maybe it was 5, but it would come on right after Kung Fu. And it would, it had that fella that I can't remember his name, but he's a big time outdoorsman. And so basically, he was doing a promotion a few years back and was on Cam and Company NRA TV show, and they were giving away a Henry big boy. And even though he doesn't hunt, he supports hunting and conservation and all that. But I hadn't seen him in years, but the other day I was watching TV, and it was like on last Saturday, and I'm watching it, and I see these mountains, and I'm like, God, that looks a lot like Uncle Jim's property. And I was like, and then all of a sudden it's the guy Grizzly Adams, and it's the real movie. And I didn't know that the series was based on an actual movie.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes, that was it. That was it. That was it. Yes, it was.
Oh, that's with the what you call it, the weirdo now.
Yeah.
Sean
Yeah.
Penn. Sean Penn.
Yeah. Sean Penn.
Yeah.
He did one too many drugs. Poor Sean.
If you guys come in the chat, make sure you hit the private chat and say I'm here, so I can see a bubble in case Echo overlooks it. So just remember to do that.
Yeah, I turned on the beeper, but I don't know if it's gonna. Did Jim get his?
Mine's turned on, but mine never makes a sound. So none last night.
I bought the movie set.
But the private chat I can look up and see if you type something in.
Yeah, that was a. I didn't, but all those years I watched it and I thought it was just a TV show on TV, not knowing that the actual movie existed. And then I sat there and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't a series. And then I'm like, then it shows how he was accused of murder in a town and he had a young daughter and I guess his wife had passed away and he was living with his sister with his young daughter. And then he goes, they're going to accuse me of murder and I have no defense, this, that, and the other. And he went out into the woods and he starts walking. And literally it was a man that lived in a city and he starts walking out in the woods and basically has to do everything, not really knowing how to do anything. And it was so cool because it shows him learning how to make a cabin, and he had come across this grizzly cub and basically it was down on a ledge and this guy climbs. It freaked me out. I got this thing with heights, but he was like, the actor, the stunt man or whatever, was out on the side of this mountain, like down getting this little grizzly cub. And he carries it with him all the way to where he goes and builds like his cabin. And the thing keeps hanging out with him. And I guess that was Ben, and the grizzly bear. And it was just crazy. I didn't mean to go off on a dip story, but it was just, I didn't know that actually was a movie. And I thought that was so cool.
There's a few good shows. You ever seen Into the West years ago?
Yes.
You seen what's the other one?
The Rifleman. The Rifleman was really good.
You ever seen Hell on Wheels?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Showing the railroad.
Yeah, that's what you've been watching.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. Yeah, I've watched it probably at least once before, I think. I know I have. But I like it. Kind of got a weird ending, but it was good. It's a little bit more real. Another one to me, Deadwood, the first one, not the second one. The second one got weirded out. Deadwood, the first one was more like probably how they talked back in the day. And you remember that, bitch, or hey, go do this. I won't go there, but it's just crazy. Boy, that was how they talked back in those days when what's his name, Wild Bill was in that town. That's a good show. Chuck Connors was good. I grew up on that. Gunsmoke. I used to do a Bonanza, but I never really got a handle on Bonanza and got into it. Gunsmoke, I watched all the time. I never missed it because it just kept. Well, Gunsmoke was well done. It didn't get boring or it didn't get goofy. Sometimes to me, Bonanza got kind of a little goofy.
Yeah, sometimes it got a little too like kiddie.
Yeah, it just went weird to me at times. That's something I've observed, and I just never liked it as much. But,
well, it seemed like, but like the Rifleman, it had its kid. It had the kid in it that he just passed away here recently. The young boy from the Rifleman,
Johnny Crawford.
Yeah, and basically, but it had a young kid in it, but there was adult topics. It had adult layovers to it, like it had the kid talking with other kids, but then his dad was very, very adult. Like he addressed the adults in the audience, where the kid appealed more to the young people that were watching. And it was kind of like the way the show was set up.
Believe it or not, one of the few Westerns that actually portray the West the way it was, and that's Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in some odd ways, like shooting in that building, the clothes, the red, all the colors, it was that way. Now, granted, some of it's myth, granted, make believe, but they say it portrays it a little bit more better.
Yeah.
I love the Wyatt Earp version that Kevin Costner does, but it's a long show, movie.
Yeah, but it's a good one. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a good one. I like
Yeah.
it in the end when he goes,
Mhm.
"Tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me."
Yeah.
Remember that? That was
Mhm.
awesome, dude. And he was
That was
heard
Tombstone. Yeah.
saying
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
on that walkway on next to the rail yard right there.
Mhm. That movie had problems. Something about their director, and I guess who pulled the movie through, probably helping direct somewhat, and that was Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
It had some issues. It almost didn't make it, apparently,
yeah,
at times. But it had a good cast. That was a good thing about it.
yeah. Uncle Jim's
Mhm.
talking about he's loading some 380 cartridges.
Yeah, I've
What
seen that.
book were you using, Jim? I know that James Pollard was talking about it where you loading Magnum 380s.
Mhm. Hang on, I'll be
And
right back.
Jim, yeah,
Mhm.
and Jim said that he was talking about loading from the manual, but the manual was lame. What manual were you using? I'm guessing maybe Hornady. We call that the lawyer's manual, because usually the loads are reduced to the point where you barely get semi-auto function out of some of the loads, which they call their starting load. And I'm just like, well, since 380 ACP is only made to fire out of a semi-auto, there's no revolver for it. You think your starting load could have enough pressure to cycle the slide once, just with a full magazine pushing against the bottom of the slide. That's what I would. But they always want to err on the side of caution. But I like to err on the side of it functioning. Lyman 49. Okay. Laughing. Wait. Lamo. Okay. I think I have the 50th, but that doesn't mean it's any better. I find most load data a little bit puny when they were in their start loads. I mean, they've got to, I guess, excuse me, they've got to consider everyone's firearm in the reloads. So that's why they have the starting charges so low a lot of the times. Because if you're reloading for a Raven or a Larson, chances are you're not going to be wanting to push the top of the envelope on that, or you might end up with a hand grenade instead of a handgun. Yeah, so I'm curious about this 380. What powder are you using? What you have in your what's always in your Dillon, Uncle Jim, or are you doing this on your 4-hole turret? In 5.7. Yeah, so it's kind of hit or miss. Okay, 231. That's okay. That's what I'm using in 380 as well. What grain bullet was it? Those, I think you had made those blue hollow points, or were those? Am I confusing those with the 10 millimeter bullets? I've seen so many videos. Jim's midnight. I'm getting confused.
I'm back.
Hey, buddy.
What are we talking about?
You got a little gurgling going on. I'm trying to get Uncle Jim to please tell me what he's doing. Okay, 95 grain hollow points. Was it those little blue ones that you mixed with a little teal, I want to say? But yeah, I'm wondering how much powder did you load and actually get the gun to cycle? Did you actually find a load that worked?
He said something about a grain, but he don't know what bullet it is.
Orzak, Andy, another guy.
Another guy who was silent behind the cameras was the guy that played the sheriff on the Dukes of Hazzard. He directed all the stunts and all the car shots.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now I got a notification from Echo's channel.
What is it?
Tell me there's a live stream.
They're pumping me. They're pumping me.
Yeah, and I just stopped it. I'm gonna hang on.
Hey, they're pumping me. They're pumping me. They're pretty soon you're gonna start getting alert after alert after alert. In the middle of the night, your computer's gonna power up and start.
It was just flying through here. Now I turned it off. Gosh, that's crazy.
Yes, Aqua and Blue, they all cycled.
You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to turn the PC into a smartphone.
Oh, that's been on its way.
Yeah.
Because basically smartphones have brought back people using computers. Because even though smartphones have gotten so sophisticated and have gotten so advanced, they still won't do what a desktop or a laptop will do. And if you want to, videotape anything or, do any kind of editing, it's, right. There's certain editing you can do on a phone. I'm not saying that you can't, but
it's not full featured.
It's not. Yeah. Featured. Most things on the phone aren't full featured when you compare them to the computer. I basically had a phone before I had a computer because it had been 20 some years since I had a computer. So when I got the phone, I was like, and this was some years ago, it's probably 10 years ago. I got my first, one of the fancy phones, and I was just like, I hate this already. I'm just looking at it. My wife bought it for me, and it was for my birthday. And she's like, this is what I got you, a phone just like mine. And I'm like, and I looked at it and I looked up at her and I was like, really? And she's like, what do you mean, really? I'm like, I really not a big fan of technology.
The early versions of Android was sucked. They were awful.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I was like, it would do crazy things. Like I was used to a telephone with buttons. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know that's going to make me sound like a relic, but I remember my cell phones having buttons, and you could lock it so that you didn't butt dial somebody. And basically, you had if you wanted to text message, you had to go A, B, C. If I wanted to spell out cat and go to C, stop at C, let it go to the next letter, go to A, then go down to where the T was on the 9 or whatever and hit, Y, Z, W, whatever the hell button it was, and hit T. You go 3 times or how many times you had. Yeah, it was. Yeah, dude, I remember freaking rotary dial phones. I still had one up until a couple of years ago. I was my girl, and she's like, Dave, she goes, these aren't going to come back in style, honey. And I was like, well, you never know, She goes, honey, my wife goes, honey, we don't even have a plug for a phone in this house. I go, what do you mean? They're along the baseboard. I'm looking around, Elliot. I'm like, where are the fucking plugs? Where are the phone plugs? And I guess they had taken them out. Like I didn't know. I mean, so yeah, I threw my my rotary dial phone away.
In the early years, AT&T had a monopoly in the South.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You could not have a second phone unless you paid for it. As a kid, at 14 years old, guess what I did? I took wire in the kitchen, run wire down to the floor under the house, and ran a line up to my bedroom and tapped into the other phone and had 2 phones in 2 rooms against
Yeah.
AT&T's rules. I said,
Yeah.
screw AT&T.
Yeah. Uncle Jim says he's shooting a Burst of Thunder too, which is a classic 380. I like the 380 cartridge. And I think, did you get the Uncle Jim? Did you get the die set that came with the factory crimp and everything all in one set like I did?
I'm not into pea shooters.
Dude, listen. You
Are
talk
you pea
whatever you
shooters?
want. You talk
Yeah.
whatever nonsense you want, brother. Okay. But I tell you, when you're wearing Bermuda shorts and a t-shirt, you don't have room to carry a big revolver or a full-size handgun. Even my
True.
like Glock 26 or my Glock now the 42 and 43 are different. I can put those in my pocket. But if I'm going to carry on my side, I'm not going to do anything but my little micro Kimber in 380.
Put
It's
a pole up.
stainless.
Put a pole
What?
up. Put a pole up.
Put a pole up. How do you even do that? Let me see.
I'm not
Gotta
sure.
go in on YouTube.
Yep.
Gotta go in on YouTube and put a poll. Okay, let's figure out what are we gonna ask. What are we
You're
gonna
going to
do?
ask who thinks it's a pea shooter. And
Oh,
who
okay. Yeah,
likes
that's
it.
fine. All right. Yeah, all right. You guys want to make fun of the 9mm Kurtz? That's fine. That's fine.
See what everybody says.
Listen to him. He's trying to get back at me for earlier. Well, you got a pea shooter. I'm like, hey, I can shoot a one jagged hole at 20 yards just by holding the handgun straight and pulling the trigger. And then my buddy's like, you can see that well? And I'm like, no, I'm just holding the handgun in the exact same spot. And he's like, that's ridiculous, dude. He's like,
9mm is my limit.
9mm is my limit.
Man, you carry a 32, and I thought that was pretty pathetic. I says, good Lord, you need a better gun. I remember that old revolver she had. It was cheap. Even back in the day, I said, this thing's awful. Plus, my aunt never practiced. She didn't know how to shoot it. And I told her I'd take her shooting. She never did. Can you figure out the pole yet on the other side? That's I need to do it and figure out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, man. Mm-hmm. I'm in here, and let's see.
Probably in the studio section, isn't it? I think the pole would be. I could be wrong. We need to go over this probably before we do it, though. We probably shouldn't have got there. It's already 7:46 right now.
Yeah, you're gonna be
yeah, we don't
taking off. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll just go into here and figure out how they do it.
Yeah, I will too after later tonight.
Is Jamie doing polls on his channel?
Not that I know of. I like them. Yeah. I think they're
I think they're handy too. Mm-hmm. You know, and it gets more participation out of the audience that you can give little questions to them to figure out. But I don't know how to do it. I will figure it out, though, before the next show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start wrapping it down because I want to give AR a little time to get ready for the next show he's doing over at the Georgia Shooting Connection. And if you...
I'm going to try to get to it. I'm not 100% sure yet. So got something coming up, maybe.
Okay, well, if he makes it over there tonight, that's great. If not, if he's got something that came up, I'm sure Jamie will understand. We just got to let people know that Georgia Shooting Connection will be coming on at 8, and I'll be going over there to be in the side chat and hang out with everyone where I can actually read the side chat because I'll be on my cell phone. But
you got 20 on Echo. That's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for everyone participating this evening. I really appreciate everyone coming out and being in the side chat. Uncle Jim, Lead Bullet Junkie, brother. Ahab, Vanessa Kitty, James Pollard. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Andy Z20, 79 Z28. Of course, my throat gets a rasp to it just as I start trying to call everyone off.
I left my cough drops in the bedroom.
Yeah, I know, but I understand why you have them now, because I've just started getting a scratch in my throat that I can't get with water.
I don't know if this is a South thing or what's going on. It's been bothering me this summer.
Might be something, maybe a muck fire. We get these underground fires that burn muck underneath the ground, and it's horrible. It smells like burning orange peels, and basically it makes your throats really sore, and your sinus patches just usually get infected. But yeah, thanks for coming out, Tim S. I didn't see you there, Uncle Jim.
Good to see you all. Thanks for coming. I enjoyed it. Have a good day, everyone. It's great seeing you.
Yeah. Everyone have a good one, and we will catch you on the next show. And hopefully I'll be able to find some bullets. And if any of y'all find bullets for the Spear Gold Dot in 100 to 125 grain and the 308 diameter for the 300 blackout, please drop it in the comment section of this video, and I will thank you so I can hurry up and finish this 300 blackout loading series. I just need bullets. If not, I'm going to have to just load like some 168s or some 150 grain. But you all have a nice evening, and I'll catch you on Monday night, when we're going to be doing a specialty chat and probably have a specialty guest on again. So you guys take care. Monday night's chat will start at 8 p.m. Eastern. So take care and have a good one, and I'll see you over at the Georgia Shooting Connection. Later.
See you all. Take care.